野蛮会吞噬文明. In the natural order, barbarity overcomes civilization. Jiefeng. December 10, 2024. If you sow wild grass seeds and wheat seeds together on the same piece of land, then return after a few years, what will grow more abundantly, the wild grass or the wheat? If a wolf cub and a human infant are raised together without any external intervention, which outcome is more likely? The wolf cub becoming human, or the infant turning into a wolf? If an adult is placed among a group of thugs and lives with them for 3 to 5 years, will he emerge as a refined gentleman, or will he turn into a thug? If Elon Musk had been immersed in Confucian culture from childhood, would he have become today's globally celebrated technological Iron Man, or a staunch cultural conservative? There is a profound truth in nature. In the natural order, barbarity overcomes civilization. A person living among scientists is likely to become a scientist, while someone living among thugs is likely to become a thug. If an angel remains surrounded by devilish influences for an extended time, the angel will likely become an accomplice to the devils. Civilized people are easily captured by barbarity, while barbarians are exceedingly difficult to civilize. The more primitive, barbaric, ignorant, backward, and crude something is, the stronger its survival instincts and resilience. If a particular culture endures for thousands of years without falling, it proves that the culture possesses a strong capacity for corrosion and assimilation, signifying that it is relatively barbaric, ignorant, backward, and crude, rather than advanced and civilized. Recognizing the principle that barbarity overcomes civilization in the natural order, anyone aspiring to become a civilized person should vigilantly avoid the following 8 pitfalls. Avoid working or living in barbaric and backward places as much as possible. Avoid places that are closed off and unfriendly to outsiders. Steer clear of unreasonable and barbaric people in your vicinity. Distance yourself from those who cling strongly to traditional ideologies. Gravitate toward advanced, open, and civilized places. Seek the company of civilized individuals. Avoid losing your temper or complaining. Instead, focus all your energy on moving closer to civilized places and communities. If you cannot escape a barbaric or ignorant environment, strive to maintain independence and adhere to civilized principles to the greatest extent possible. Living in a pigsty for a long time will eventually turn you into a pig. Living in a sheep pen for a long time will turn you into a sheep. No matter how diligently one practices or cultivates in a pigsty, one cannot become a celestial or a Buddha. If one's consciousness is burdened by notions of marriage, family, nationality, religion, political parties, or the pursuit of money, power, and fame, then no amount of effort will lead to heaven. Walking toward heaven is the most valuable and the wisest choice in life. 人类人生篇，人生到底有没有意义? Does life have meaning? Jiefeng. December 25, 2024. On the internet, many people claim that life has no meaning. Let us explore whether life truly has any meaning. In a pigsty of 10 pigs, an old pig said, "Life as a pig has no meaning. We spend our entire lives in this sty, doing nothing but eating, drinking, sleeping, and rolling in the mud. There's no other purpose." A boar replied, "There's also mating. Mating is meaningful." A piglet chimed in, "Drinking our mother's milk and playing with my siblings in the sty makes life as a pig very meaningful." Hearing the pigs discuss the meaning of life, the pig farmer couldn't help but laugh. He thought to himself, "What do you know about the meaning of your existence? Your purpose as pigs is to grow fat so that I can slaughter and eat you." A Buddha overheard the pig farmer's thoughts and found them laughable. He thought, "Raising pigs is your duty, but slaughtering and eating them negates your merits. From then on, you'll have to start over from zero. What is the meaning of life as a pig?" All the pigs knelt before the greatest creator and pleaded for answers. A deafening voice echoed from the heavens. "As pigs, your existence is to repay the debts of your past lives, where you lived recklessly and harmed other living beings. By living as pigs and settling your debts, you can be freed from this existence and reincarnate as humans. That is the entire meaning of your lives as pigs." If you ask pigs whether their lives have meaning, they won't know. They cannot comprehend the purpose of their existence. If you ask humans whether their lives have meaning, they won't know either. Humans cannot fully grasp the purpose of their existence. 人类正在按照我的构想演进. Humanity is evolving according to my vision. Deform Buddha. December 27, 2024. The future of humanity will abolish marriage and family. I will dissolve nations, political parties, and religions. I will erase wealth disparities, along with banks and currencies. I will remove national borders. I will eliminate theft, robbery, invasion, war, unrest, corruption, fraud, deceit, and bribery. I will eradicate poverty and hunger. My plan is for everyone to live to the age of 120. Over the course of their lives, they will experience living and working in at least 40 different locations with diverse climates, geographies, and seasons. They will immerse themselves in temperate, frigid, and tropical zones, in regions with distinct four seasons as well as those with only rainy and dry seasons. They will share life with people of various races, languages, and cultures. Each day will be filled with joy, and their lives will be intoxicatingly fulfilling. When they reach 120, will they simply die? No. After 120, I will send some individuals to live on Mars, not in their physical bodies, but by transferring their consciousness onto chips that will be transported to Mars. Once there, their consciousness will be replicated into robotic bodies, allowing humans to make a spectacular transformation from carbon-based life forms to silicon-based beings, continuing to relish the infinite joys of existence. For others, I will guide them to higher dimensions such as the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium Celestial Islands continent, where they can enjoy the bliss of being celestial beings. Can anyone stop this plan from coming to fruition? No one can. No president, billionaire, philosopher, scientist, or thinker can halt the progress and realization of my vision. My advice is this: do not resist this tide of change. Align yourself with it or risk being eliminated by the programs of the new era. For anyone wishing to step into this unparalleled, wondrous new era and live within my vision, there is one essential course you must take: the soul purification course. Of all matters, this is the most urgent. Do not miss this once in 10,000 years opportunity. 心灵篇。求道的结果是什么? What is the outcome of seeking the Tao? Deform Buddha. The wise words of Gao Shan Lu Shui remind us, when the search for truth brings increasing joy to your life, then you are on the right path. But when it brings increasing pain, then your path is mistaken. Indeed, this is true. Are you happy and joyful in this very moment? If so, you have found the Tao and are resonating in harmony with it. Are you troubled and distressed right now? If so, you have lost the Tao and are out of sync with it. To seek the Tao means to seek happiness and joy. A day of happiness and joy is a day of attaining the Tao and living as a celestial. A lifetime of happiness and joy is a lifetime of living as a celestial. Interestingly, those who live a lifetime of happiness and joy are the most likely to enter the heavenly kingdom, while those who live a lifetime of distress and anguish are less likely to do so. So let us seek happiness and joy. Pursue happiness and joy in every moment and savor the present. The experience of the present moment is the outcome. Seeking a future outcome is like chasing after tomorrow. Tomorrow upon tomorrow. How many tomorrows lie ahead? If we live for tomorrow, all will end in regret. Note, explanation of the monk is still here, so where have I gone? Story mentioned above. Once upon a time, a government escort, known as a guan chai in ancient China, a type of subordinate government agent, was tasked with escorting a monk convicted of breaking monastic precepts to exile. Every morning before setting out, the escort would carefully check four things: his belongings, including food and money, the official documents needed to complete the mission, the monk, as losing him would mean grave consequences, and finally himself. Only after ensuring everything was accounted for would he begin the journey. Day after day they traveled together, crossing rushing streams, dense forests, desolate paths, and towering mountains. Over time, the escort and the monk grew familiar with each other, forming a bond like that of friends. As they approached their destination, one cold and stormy evening, they stopped at an inn to rest. The monk, seeing an opportunity, said to the escort, "You've taken such good care of me on this long journey, and our parting is near. Let me repay your kindness. I still have some money left. Shall we have a good meal and some wine tonight?" The escort was delighted and called out for the best food and drink. Feeling relieved of his responsibilities for the night, he drank freely and soon fell into a deep, drunken sleep. Seeing the escort had fallen into a deep sleep, the monk seized his chance. He found the key to his shackles, freed himself, and shaved the escort's head clean. He then switched his prison robe for the escort's clothing and locked the shackles around the escort's ankles. Before leaving, the monk chuckled and said, "See you, my friend," and disappeared into the night. The next morning, the escort woke up feeling refreshed. As usual, he began his daily routine of checking everything before resuming the journey. First, his belongings still there. Next, the official documents also present. Then he looked for the monk but couldn't find him. Confused, he started to rise, only to be tripped by the shackles now on his own legs. He rubbed his head and was shocked to feel smooth skin. His head was completely bald. Looking down, he realized he was wearing the monk's robes. A sudden thought struck him. The monk is still here, so where have I gone? This humorous and thought-provoking story serves as a metaphor for losing oneself while navigating life's processes, urging us to reflect on the elusive nature of self and identity. 了尘缘结仙缘, transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties. Deiform Buddha. March 24, 2006. The methods of self-practice and cultivation are as vast as the ocean. As a path toward becoming a celestial being, transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties is a crucial practice. Everything is governed by karma. Bonds are formed when karma arises and dissolve when karma ends. Those with destiny will meet across 1,000 miles, while those without it will not meet even face to face. Regardless of distance, whether spanning thousands of miles, traversing mountains and rivers, or extending across different realms like the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, blissful world, the animal world, the netherworld, or the frozen layer. These bonds are difficult to sever and must ultimately be resolved. Every interaction we have, whether with parents, children, friends, colleagues, neighbors, or even adversaries and enemies, is rooted in karmic causes and effects. Without cause, there is no ripple. Subconsciously, nothing unrelated to us can occur. A careful analysis of all our encounters reveals that they are tied to past karma. There is no love without cause, no hatred without reason, no arrival without karma, and no departure without it. This understanding teaches us that self-practice and cultivation must focus on fully resolving worldly bonds and broadly forming celestial ties. Resolving mundane bonds and forming celestial ties involves two key aspects: resolving ties with worldly individuals, letting go of attachments to the mundane world. At the same time, one should actively form connections with celestial beings, Buddhas, and those with celestial affinities, while striving to shift one's consciousness from the human world to the celestial world. Resolving ties with worldly individuals. Resolving ties with worldly individuals primarily involves repaying debts owed to them. As Jesus taught, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. Debts must be repaid. If not in this life, they will carry over to the next, or even the life after that. As long as we owe debts to worldly individuals or society, we cannot leave the human world and will be bound to reincarnate here to repay them. The greater the debt, the lower the life level, and the smaller the chance of entering the celestial world. Letting go of attachments to the mundane world. Honoring parents, raising children, caring for siblings, and contributing to society are all forms of debt repayment. Their purpose is to resolve worldly bonds, avoid reincarnation, and free oneself from suffering and hardship. A key principle of self-practice and cultivation is, better to let others owe me than to owe others. Do not seek advantages. Give more and take less. This approach not only helps repay debts, but also accumulates wealth in the heavenly kingdom. Avoid deep involvement with worldly mortals whenever possible. Do not extend kindness or harbor malice toward them. Do not accept their favors, as worldly benefits often hinder the path to the heavenly kingdom. For example, if you are a doctor, never accept extra gratitude from patients. If you are a government official, never accept extra rewards or bribes. Do not let short-term benefits cloud your spiritual vision, planting seeds of future suffering. It is evident that forming ties with wicked individuals will entangle you in their troubles. If they end up in jail, you may be implicated or, at the very least, disturbed for a period of time. If they descend into hell, you might have to follow to resolve your karmic ties. Proximity to vermilion makes one red. Proximity to ink makes one black. Worship Buddha, gain Buddhahood. Worship demons, gain demonic traits. Frequent exposure to the river makes one wet, and frequent trips to the well will eventually break the pot. Being close to the mountains makes one familiar with the sound of birds. Being close to the water makes one understand the nature of fish. Staying long in fragrant places makes one unaware of the scent, while staying long in foul places makes one oblivious to the stench. Understanding these principles early allows us to distance ourselves from harmful places and people before regret becomes too late. The best way to repay debts. The best way to repay debts and resolve mundane bonds is through formless giving, generous acts of merit without attachment. By accumulating wealth in the Tao's bank, the Tao will automatically help repay your debts. Thus, a debt owed to person A doesn't have to be repaid directly to them. It can be repaid through formless giving to persons B, C, and D. For example, if your parents have passed away and you haven't repaid the debt of their upbringing, you can repay it by accumulating merit through selfless actions for others. Forming celestial ties. Actively forming celestial ties involves interacting with those who have celestial and enlightened roots. These individuals not only avoid bringing trouble into your life, but also bring happiness and joy. As the saying goes, when one person attains the Tao, even their household rises to heaven. While this may not be entirely literal, it highlights the profound influence celestial ties have. By forming deep connections with them, your chances of entering the heavenly kingdom increase. Connections between life-genuine celestials are essentially celestial ties. If you form bonds with 10 celestials who become celestial beings, the karmic ties between you will inevitably guide you to the celestial world, as these bonds will naturally pull you along. The benefits of transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties are profound. Reflect on and savor these truths, and once you understand the principles, you will know how to approach self-practice and cultivation. 自敬人不见. Self-purification is the key. Jiefeng. September 3, 2007. At Dar es Salaam Airport, I observed people casually discarding scraps of paper onto the ground. At Singapore Airport, however, not a single piece of litter could be found. People consciously maintain the pristine public environment. In high-end hotels, no one spits on the ground, while in small roadside eateries, people spit freely. Shops that are elegantly decorated, clean, and tidy often have few customers, while chaotic and cluttered ones are packed. Many people decide whether to enter a shop based on the appearance of its displays and storefront. If a shop appears too perfect, people may feel intimidated, perceiving themselves as unworthy of entering such a luxurious and refined space. In some homes where everything is tidy, orderly, and spotless, guests often feel restrained. Their speech and posture become cautious, and they dare not act casually. Similarly, when viewing nude images in erotic magazines or on websites, people might feel an overwhelming desire to embrace and engage in sensual acts. However, when viewing nude paintings by master artists in an art gallery, such impulses vanish, replaced by a profound sense of beauty that uplifts the spirit and soul. Even when faced with a living, naked beauty, if her figure reflects the golden ratio of perfect curves, her demeanor exudes purity, her speech is elegant, and she radiates compassion and harmony, it is impossible for anyone to entertain impure thoughts. Sexual impulses dissipate, leaving only admiration and reverence. Being in her aura feels like an exquisite happiness. Even a single glance provides an indescribable satisfaction. Some might feel it an unparalleled honor to serve her eternally. Any act of disrespect would leave one feeling deeply ashamed of their soul's flaws and inadequacies. Perfect things elevate people, fostering nobility and civility, steering them away from base desires and guiding them toward the heavenly kingdom. These examples reveal a profound truth. Self-purification is the key. Self-purification is the key means that when one achieves inner and outer perfection and elegance, others will naturally refrain from tarnishing or desecrating it. Dirty places invite litter and spitting, while clean and tidy environments inspire people to restrain themselves and strive to maintain the beauty. To prevent others from littering or spitting in your courtyard, you must first create an attractive and clean environment. To stop people from gossiping about you, you must first cultivate a perfect heart and exhibit refined speech and behavior. Just as the saying goes, where flowers bloom, butterflies naturally gather. Self-purification prevents desecration. We often notice an abundance of flies in certain places and complain about how annoying they are. In truth, the fault lies not with the flies. Flies don't land on unbroken eggs. Flies avoid clean and beautiful places. If there are many flies, it's because the environment is too dirty. To keep flies away, the best solution is to improve your surroundings. Many parents complain about their children associating with bad company, blaming those people. However, such complaints are misplaced. The problem lies not with those individuals but with the children themselves, and ultimately with the parents. The more beautiful a place, the fewer people frequent it. Conversely, the dirtier and messier a place, the more crowded it becomes. Crowded places are rarely ideal, while tranquil spots are more likely to be beautiful. This explains why the 1,000-year world is sparsely populated, the 10,000-year world even more so, and the celestial islands continent the least of all. Similarly, the human world is densely populated, the animal world even more so, and hell is the most crowded of all. When art is profound, its audience is limited. The more refined and perfect a life structure is, the lonelier it becomes in the human world, as there are fewer kindred spirits. When your emotions are as subtle as a flowing stream and your thoughts as ethereal as mist, how can ordinary people understand? The grains of sand by the sea are delicate, but the silt in the lotus pond is even finer. The wind is subtler than the silt, and the light is more delicate than the wind. Emotions that stem from the soul are subtler than light. As this subtlety increases, fewer people can appreciate it. When one's heart enters the antimatter world, their emotions become so refined that they are imperceptible, almost empty. How can the people of the human world appreciate them? It becomes intangible, mysterious. Therefore, such individuals become increasingly lonely. However, the ugly duckling among the ducks will inevitably find resonance with the swans it encounters. Once it spreads its wings and joins them in flight, loneliness will vanish, for it has transcended isolation and found its kind. In summary, to dwell in a beautiful environment, one must first achieve self-purification. Purify your intentions. Do not blame your surroundings, as everything around you is drawn by yourself, be it your parents, spouse, children, siblings, colleagues, friends, race, environment, era, and so on. Everything is of your own making. The gate to the heavenly kingdom is narrow because self-purified individuals are scarce, whereas complainers and blamers are abundant. Beyond the other shore. Deiform Buddha. May 31, 2006. Rivers have this shore and the other shore, and so does life. From the shore of a river, one crosses to the other shore by boat, disembarking upon arrival. Similarly, from the shore of life, one crosses to the other shore using the physical body as the vessel, abandoning it upon reaching the destination. Some do not believe in the existence of the other shore. Some doubt its existence. Some know it exists but are unaware of its conditions, and some wish to reach it but do not know how to get there. Christopher Columbus once sought funding from the Spanish king and queen for a maritime expedition. Columbus believed the earth was round, reasoning that if one kept moving forward, they would eventually return to the starting point. The king and queen were skeptical and convened a committee of renowned scholars and geographers, including theologians such as St. Augustine and Christian philosopher Lactantius, to evaluate the feasibility. The resulting report stated, "Would anyone be foolish enough to believe in a place where people walk upside down, their feet against ours, their heads pointing downward? Or that such a place exists where trees grow downward, and rain, snow, and hail fall upward?" Declaring the earth to be round is merely a defense of such myths about the existence of polar opposites. The western Atlantic is boundless and perhaps unnavigable. For centuries, no one has discovered any uncharted, useful lands there. Others said, "Your Majesty, Columbus is undoubtedly a fraud, attempting to swindle money for his indulgences. Should you fund him, the world will mock your Majesty. The only solution for such a swindler is execution by hanging." Those who ridiculed Columbus lacked a holistic understanding of the earth. Jesus Christ knew of the other shore. Buddha Shakyamuni knew of the other shore. The spiritual guide of life Achanuan also knows of the other shore. Christ did not describe the conditions of the other shore. Buddha did not provide a complete discussion of it. To lead people to the other shore, the guide of life Achanuan has come, inheriting the mission of Christ and Buddha to fulfill the will of the greatest creator. The 36-dimensional spaces can be seen as 36 distinct other shores. For life, the most ideal other shores are the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world. The least desirable ones are the netherworld, the frozen layer, and the fiery refining layer. Naturally, few will believe this account, just as experts in Columbus's era doubted the Earth's roundness. The guide does not expect everyone to believe it. 1% of the population will suffice. As for how to reach life's ideal other shore, only one person in the world knows, and that is the guide of life genuine. Trust in Christ was not misplaced. Trust in Buddha was not misplaced. Trust in the guide of life genuine is also not misplaced because Jesus, Buddha, and the guide are one and the same, indistinguishable. Many may think the guide of life genuine is a grand deceiver, motivated by fame and fortune. To this, the guide has no response. Buddha once renounced the chance to become a king. He had no desire for it. Many sought to make Jesus a king, but he fled. Speculating that the guide seeks kingship is baseless. If possible, the guide would prefer death and has no desire to remain in this world even 1 second longer. Consider the story of the spider demons who captured Tang Sanzang, offering what they believed to be the finest delicacies, including plump insects. The spider demons thought this was the ultimate hospitality. But if you were Tang Sanzang, would you eat such food? Or imagine a pack of dogs that fought incessantly and eventually begged a human to become their king, bowing humbly and sincerely. If you were that human, would you accept the role of their king? Delicious insects may be prized by spiders but are unsuitable for Tang Sanzang. They are not his food. A king of dogs, no matter how prestigious, does not suit humans. It is not their calling. Do not think I desire anything in this human world. Even the humblest citizen of the heavenly kingdom is nobler than a king, president, or leader of this earthly world. If you approach with sincere scientific curiosity, you will believe me. If you have spirituality, you will believe me. If you understand divine revelations, you will believe me. If you grasp Christ's heart, you will believe me. If you comprehend Buddha's teachings, you will believe me. Do not assume I will preach to you as Jesus or Buddha did. For most humans, compassion and universal love are ineffective. Without transforming the structure of your life, you cannot reach the ideal other shore. Stop aimless practices and haphazard cultivation. Cultivation is like launching a spacecraft into outer space. Every calculation must be precise. Blind attempts and wishful thinking are futile. Do not harbor the slightest delusion. If you lack clarity on even one calculation or entertain unrealistic expectations, you will never reach the ideal other shore. 生命禅院倡导的人生价值观 The life values advocated by Life Genuine. Deform Buddha. August 27, 2006. Life values are the compass and guide that help one adjust their direction in life, based on their worldview and outlook on life. Different values lead to different life paths. The vast diversity of lives primarily stems from the multitude of value systems. Jesus and Buddha's values shaped their divine and enlightened qualities, while Hitler's values shaped his demonic nature. Some enter politics, others engage in business, some become clergy, and others turn to theft or robbery. These life paths are largely determined by their differing values. Values represent a form of awareness. The way one lives and pursues life depends on this awareness. Many people spend their entire lives rushing around, yet achieve little. This often occurs because they lack clear values, or their values are chaotic and undefined. Such individuals rarely reflect on what is most important in life, leaving them unable to distinguish priorities or determine what matters most. They follow the crowd. When the east wind blows, they follow the east. When the west wind blows stronger, they drift with the west. As a result, they exhaust themselves throughout life without ever achieving clarity or purpose. A life without direction is blind. A life without values is confused. Life's sufferings and misfortunes often arise from the absence of a clear direction and set of values. Correct values stem from an accurate understanding of the universe, time, space, and life. To establish correct life values, one must first cultivate an accurate worldview and understanding of life. Our awareness and perception of the universe's myriad phenomena lead us to recognize a supernatural soul, the greatest creator, and the ordered operation of the universe. The force governing this order is the Tao, and everything operates under the control of the greatest creator's spirit, the Tao. We also understand that the universe consists of 36 dimensions, that life is eternal, and that death is not the end of existence. Life is merely a single journey of life itself, and the end of one journey marks the beginning of another. The quality of one's new starting point depends on the life quality achieved at the end of the previous journey. Those with higher quality life may ascend to heavenly realms, while those with lower quality life descend to lower levels of existence. Based on this worldview and understanding of life, Life Genuine advocates the following life values. The highest priority in life is to refine and perfect the non-material structure of one's being. Life is infinite, but a single human life is finite. Everything tangible that one gains through life's struggles ultimately amounts to nothing. Only the intangible achievements remain real and eternal. At the moment of death, what can one take away? Wealth, fame, status, and material possessions. None of these can accompany you. Even loved ones, parents, spouses, and children cannot follow. The only thing you carry is the quality of life cultivated through self-practice and refinement. As Jesus taught, this is the treasure stored in heaven. As Buddha taught, it is the fruition of enlightenment. The most valuable pursuit is to refine the spiritual structure of life, no matter the cost, ensuring entry into higher levels of existence after death to enjoy eternal life and bliss. For this purpose, we revere the greatest creator, life and nature, walking in the way of the greatest creator. We perceive, pursue, verify, attain, and uphold the Tao. We heed the teachings of Jesus and Buddha, actively exploring the mysteries of time, space, and life. We do good deeds, repay all our debts to the world, and honor our responsibilities. We fulfill our duties wholeheartedly, engage with the world while transcending it, rise above the ordinary, and strive to scale the highest peaks of life and life. We accumulate merit through diligent work, storing treasures in heaven. We seek to sever worldly entanglements, forge celestial connections, and transcend the limits of time and space. We focus our vision on the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, and Elysium world, projecting our finite lives into the boundless expanse of eternal life. Moreover, we approach life as a game. Whether life is simple or complex, marked by gain or loss, brilliance or solitude, longevity or brevity, wealth or poverty, good fortune or adversity, it is all part of the journey. Life is but a journey, and at its end we all must disembark. Each day we live, we pursue freedom, joy, and happiness, striving for a life free of regrets. The earlier one understands the principles of life, the better. Tomorrow may mark the end of this life's journey. Every moment of life is priceless, and wasted time can never be reclaimed. Not a single moment must be wasted on illusions or the trivial concerns of the world. We do not fight with heaven, earth, people, or governments. Instead, we entrust our lives to the greatest creator and the Tao. We never surrender our lives to nations, political parties, religions, families, masters, spouses, gangs, organizations, or any individual. My destiny rests firmly in my own hands. 来自天国的祝福. Blessings from the kingdom of heaven. Dayform Buddha. April 27, 2006. Humanity is about to enter the Life Genuine era, a golden age lasting 1,000 years. The earthly paradise, the utopia, and a replica of the 1,000-year world will manifest on earth. This is the will of the greatest creator, the aspiration of gods and Buddhas, the hope of celestial beings and saints, and the ideal of wise sages. It is the long-cherished dream of countless generations of kind, diligent, honest, and trustworthy people. Forces representing light, justice, peace, and freedom will converge through the tunnel of time and space, from the distant kingdom of heaven, from the ancient past, from the remote future, and from every corner of earth, to build the Life Genuine era together. This is a momentous era, an era of profound cultural transformation, awakening consciousness, and opportunities for sages to achieve greatness. It is also a time of intense struggle between light and darkness. All life forms resonating with the values of Life Genuine will enter this new age to enjoy 1,000 years of bliss. Those who fail to align with these values will be purified and eliminated from earth, enduring the tribulations of 1,000 years in purgatory. A bright era of spring blossoms, blooming flowers, harmonious chirping birds, and universal harmony is about to arrive. In this new era, nations, religions, political parties, and families will disappear. Greed, selfishness, deception, and evil will be eradicated. Hunger, disasters, conflicts, anxiety, and disease will vanish. You will enter a paradise of life where lost items are left untouched, doors are left unlocked at night, talents are not overlooked in the countryside. The world is one family, and freedom, joy, and harmony reign supreme. From then on, you will fully enjoy the happiness and bliss of a joyful and peaceful heart and mind. This is a blessing from the greatest Creator and a grace from gods and Buddhas. It is the distilled wisdom of humanity's sages over millennia. It is the fruit of the ceaseless efforts of devout Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, Taoists, Marxists, and Communists. It is also the natural reward for your sincere prayers, diligent practice, and uplifting consciousness that have moved heaven and earth. The universe operates holographically with consciousness at its core. The messages you send to the universe determine the feedback you receive through the way of the greatest Creator. As the saying goes, you reap what you sow. A fair lady is what a gentleman yearns for. What you give is what you gain. Profit leads to loss. The way operates with precision. Nothing escapes its scrutiny, and every cause produces its effect. You are a fortunate generation, witnessing a great adjustment of cosmic life. A rare opportunity that occurs once in hundreds of millions of years. It is a chance to break free from the shackles of misfortune, and to manifest the brilliance of human nature. The way requires close cooperation from every individual, not for others but for yourself. Aligning with the way brings boundless blessings. Opposing it leads to eternal regret. As a famous verse says, beside the wrecked ship, thousands of sails pass by. In front of the sick tree, countless new shoots thrive. Do not cling to the past or yearn for bygone days. Believe in the wisdom of the present generation, and embrace the unprecedentedly beautiful era ahead. Trust in today's prophets and sages, rather than getting trapped in the quagmire of the past. The gateway to the labyrinth of life has just opened. Keep your mind clear and your eyes sharp. Do not squander this precious time. The Old Testament describes gods who created nations like Israel, but not the supreme Lord of the universe. Revere the greatest Creator, who embodies 8 main characteristics, and respect the Heavenly Father that Jesus spoke of. True faith in Jesus lies not in blindly following the words written by His disciples, but in understanding His will and heart. Remember, words are static, but the heart is alive and dynamic. To remain dead is to cling to words. To come alive is to enter into Jesus' heart and unite with Him. The compassionate Buddha Shakyamuni has already prepared a raft for us to cross the ocean of life. Those with great aspirations who board his Dharma vessel will reach the blissful other shore. Chant and explain the Diamond Sutra to others. The blessings and merits you accumulate will be beyond imagination. Your cultivation should focus on understanding the Tao, seeking the Tao, attaining the Tao, and walking the Tao. Do not get attached to Gong practices, methods, mystical arts, or rituals. Focus on the essence rather than outward appearances or forms. The core of cultivation is to perfect the non-material structure of your life, not to acquire wisdom or supernatural abilities. You must concentrate on transforming your consciousness and elevating your thinking, rather than merely meditating or practicing techniques. Reflect deeply on the 8 types of thinking proposed by Lifechanuan and diligently strive to comprehend the 8 mysteries of life. Live with integrity and sincerity. Be open and honest, not secretive or mysterious. Avoid being deceitful or sneaky. Present yourself openly before the greatest Creator and others. Ensure your words and actions align, that your inner self matches your outward appearance, and that you can withstand the scrutiny of the greatest Creator, the government, kind-hearted people, and the tests of this new era. The way of the greatest Creator is the way of reason, joy, freedom, and happiness. Whether you are in favorable or adverse circumstances, facing despair or even death, always maintain inner peace and joy. Trust that the greatest Creator is observant and impartial, rewarding and punishing justly. Have the courage to entrust your life to the way and allow it to guide you. Avoid participating in fanatical religious or political activities, sectarian movements driven by hatred aimed at overthrowing governments, or superstitious practices that lack scientific or factual grounding. Do not engage in nationalism or ethnic nationalism that does not benefit humanity as a whole. Stay away from theft, robbery, murder, deception, extortion, and oppression. Avoid associating with those who lack faith, integrity, or a willingness to work, as well as those who incite hatred, promote violence, or manipulate others. You are the civilized life destined for eternity, not the barbaric group that will be purified and eliminated. The Life-Genuine Celestials are the children of the greatest Creator, the seeds of humanity for the new era. As one family under Life-Genuine, cherish and love one another. Live in harmony. Relationships among Chanyuan Celestials are like those of siblings, relatives, and lovers. No other relationships exist. Strive to embody kindness, honesty, trustworthiness, diligence, simplicity, and wisdom in your inner world. Bring out the truth, goodness, beauty, and love hidden within your life structure to the fullest extent. Blend yourself like a drop of water into the vast ocean of Life-Genuine. Collaborate with the great cosmic life adjustment to create a joyful homeland and build a beautiful, boundless future for yourself. These blessings come from the kingdom of heaven. Glory belongs to the greatest Creator. Happiness belongs to those who revere the greatest Creator, respect life, cherish nature, and walk the way of the greatest Creator. May you walk out of confusion, enter the Life-Genuine era, an earthly paradise, and extend your life to the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world, enjoying eternal bliss. Today marks the auspicious reopening of the gates of Life-Genuine. It is a turning point in each individual's life and in the transformation of human consciousness. The greatest Creator is with you. Christ Jesus and Buddha Shakyamuni are with you. Prophet Muhammad and Sage Laozi are with you. All the saints and sages of humanity are with you. Your joy and happiness will be infinite. The most beautiful blessings are yours. 读沁心草遁去的意有感. Reflections on Qingxin Celestials, the Elusive One. Dayform Buddha. December 11, 2006. Qingxin Celestial reveals a profound truth. One must attain the Tao in the present moment. Chasing illusory perfection is as futile as trying to catch one's shadow. Attaining the Tao now is grasping the One. If one hopes to achieve it in the future, it will forever remain out of reach. This aligns with Donghai Yixiao's insight in life blossoms in every instant. Both are words of wisdom from those who have entered the Tao. Explaining this state of being through words is difficult, not because it is impossible, but because it requires extensive elaboration. An instant is eternity, and successive instants form a continuous eternity. Seekers of the Tao must remain unwavering, centered, and focused in every moment. Neglecting the significance of an instant distances one from the Tao. As Qingxin Celestial remarks, life blossoms in every instant. If one cannot attain the Tao in this life, then when? The Tao is never far from us. To pursue it, one must seize the present moment. If we love someone, we must love them immediately, without hesitation, overthinking, or calculating. Worries and delays render our love false and unexpressed, leaving others unable to feel it. Life blossoms in every instant. If we lack love in this moment, no flower of love can bloom. Procrastination leads to regret. Appreciate the flowers while they are in full bloom. If delayed, they will have withered. A man cannot step into the same river twice, and time flows on like a river. Regret always comes too late. So, how long will we wait? Qiankuan Buddha has clearly stated that one's future after death depends on their state of being at the moment of death. And what determines that state? Whether one has attained the Tao in the present moment. For just as life blossoms in every instant, so too does it wither and fade. I once wrote an article titled "Each Day Could Be Your Last." How much longer will we wait? Treat every day as though it were the final day of your life, and you will attain the Tao. If there is something in your heart to say it now. Tomorrow is uncertain. Catastrophes like tsunamis can strike without warning. If you need to repent, repent now. If you owe someone an apology, apologize now. If you wish to become a celestial of Life-Genuine, apply now. If you wish to do good, do it now. And yes, even if you feel the urge to curse someone, curse them now. Many people, when facing death, are consumed by regret, bitterness, and remorse, lamenting their missed opportunities. I ask them, why did you hesitate at the time? Whom can you blame? The future is built upon the present. The path to the kingdom of heaven begins beneath our feet. If you don't walk it now, what are you waiting for, death? That's why I say, building Life-Genuine is the best form of self-improvement and cultivation. Where else could one find such a fitting place for growth? Life Genuine revolves around two central themes. One is striving for the highest state of life, establishing the era of Life Genuine. The other is pursuing the highest state of life, perfecting the non-material structure of life and advancing to the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, or celestial islands continent in the Elysium world. The current focus of Life Genuine's back garden is laying the foundation for our journey to the 1,000-year world. Chiefing Celestial, sent by the greatest creator, is here to guide us. Those with insight will see the essence. Those without will merely join the crowd. Skeptics may wonder, is there truly a 1,000-year world for us? Where else could one find such a guide? The greatest creator sends an airplane to pick you up. You won't board. The greatest creator sends a boat. You won't board. Are you waiting for the creator to personally come for you? Do we even deserve or have the qualifications for such a privilege? Opportunities once missed never return. The key is to seize the present moment. In this moment, one can become a celestial being and a Buddha. Let go, and let go again. Have we truly let go? Do not let your heart be entangled by forms, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, or dermas. Where does your heart reside? To die for the Tao is to gain life. To live for oneself is to lose life. The Buddha and Christ are our guides in life, and Life Genuine is today's Noah's Arkansas. What are we still waiting for? Are we waiting for extraterrestrials? Will one cultivate alone? Impossible, like carving rotted wood. Can selfish people be accepted into the kingdom of heaven? To be accepted, one must perform good deeds and store treasures in heaven. Where our treasures lie, so too will our hearts and futures. Do not withhold your love. The more you give, the more you will receive. Those who give little will have even that taken away. The lazy worker will not only forfeit their reward, but also their position. Yesterday's merits belong to yesterday. Forget them. Today brings a new self, and with it, renewed effort and diligence. Flowers bloomed yesterday, but they must bloom again today. In this way we remain steadfast and can enjoy the eternity of life. Let me conclude with Qinshin Celestial's words of wisdom. If one cannot attain the Tao in this life, then when? 吸烟者会下地狱吗? Will smokers go to hell? Jiefeng. December 2nd, 2007. Smoking harms health and pollutes the environment. Therefore, anyone who endeavors to prevent smoking is doing the right thing. A compassionate act worthy of recognition. Life Genuine advocates for a smoke-free lifestyle. I Jiefeng am a smoker with a significant habit, averaging a pack of cigarettes daily. The harmful effects of smoking are extensive, as all cigarettes contain toxins. It's widely acknowledged that the best tobacco comes from Zimbabwe, home to the world's largest tobacco auction house. Even the best Chinese cigarettes must include Zimbabwean tobacco leaves to qualify as premium brands. Zimbabwe is known for producing 5 main cigarette brands: Newberry, Kingsgate, Beverly, Matson, and Everest. I have tried all of them with distinct effects. After smoking a pack of Newberry, I developed itchy red bumps all over my body. A pack of Kingsgate left me with severe lower back pain. Beverly caused my vision to decline rapidly. Matson gave me headaches, and Everest invariably led to nosebleeds. This is not an exaggeration. Many have personally witnessed my reactions to tobacco. These experiences demonstrate that tobacco significantly damages physical health. Moreover, regular smoking drastically reduces sexual performance and can even lead to a complete loss of libido. Smokers' lungs are undeniably blackened, and lung capacity is severely impaired. Smoking also hinders meditative practices. For Qigong practitioners, smoking makes entering the Qi state challenging. From personal experience, I found that abstaining from smoking for 3 days enabled me to enter the Qi state within a minute, whereas smoking prolonged this process to over 10 minutes. Therefore, practitioners of self-improvement and cultivation are better off avoiding smoking. Additionally, smokers emit an unpleasant odor, which can be off-putting to others. The smell also permeates their vehicles and living spaces. Smoking in the bedroom is unlikely to foster pleasant dreams. In summary, the disadvantages of smoking are numerous. Those who don't smoke should avoid starting, and those who do should quit if possible. It brings numerous benefits. Currently, I still smoke, but I choose a special type of cigarette with over 50% lower nicotine and tar content than regular brands. Smoking is primarily a habit, not a physiological necessity. That said, every rule has exceptions. For certain individuals, smoking may have specific effects or benefits. This is akin to drinking water. Only the person drinking knows whether it is warm or cold. Will smokers go to hell? Now let's delve into the main question. Refer to the Bible, Mark 7 verses 15 to 23, where Jesus teaches, "Nothing outside a person can defile them by going into them. Rather, it is what comes out of a person that defiles them." Cigarettes are external substances entering the body and do not defile the soul. A person's inner goodness or beauty is unrelated to smoking unless their smoking harms others. Substances, especially food, affect physical health, not the spiritual body, unless fear is generated in one's consciousness. Inhaling or ingesting toxins may damage physical health, but does not taint the soul. Thus, smokers will not go to hell. Neither will meat eaters or drinkers. One's destination, heaven or hell, is determined by their non-material structure of life, not by smoking meat or alcohol. All medicines have toxicity. If smoking condemns one to hell due to its toxicity, then anyone who has taken medicine, breathed polluted air, or eaten pesticide-treated vegetables would also be destined for hell. Now, since fertilizers and pesticides are toxic, these toxins have entered vegetables and fruits. Therefore, everyone who has eaten vegetables and fruits would go to hell. Thus, the idea that smoking leads to hell, though well-intentioned, is baseless and unfounded. Buddha Sakyamuni taught in the Diamond Sutra, Chapter 14, one should develop the mind without dwelling on form. Do not let the mind dwell on sound, smell, taste, touch, or dharma. The mind should dwell nowhere. What is a cigarette? It is merely form. Dwelling on smoking demonstrates a lack of enlightenment and understanding of dharma. Such individuals, instead of promoting dharma, defile and undermine it. Do not assume someone is sinful or unworthy of enlightenment because they smoke, eat meat, or drink alcohol. Judging others based on outward appearances reflects attachment to form. As the Buddha said, "If you see me in form, if you seek me in sound, you are on the wrong path and will not see the Tathagata." Heaven or hell has nothing to do with form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or dharma. Life is a spiritual, non-material structure. Whether one ascends to heaven or descends to hell depends on the perfection of one's life's non-material structure. A perfect structure leads to heaven. An ugly structure leads to hell. What is life's non-material structure? How can it be perfected? For answers, refer to the Life-Changuan corpus and Siefeng corpus. I Siefeng smoke, eat meat, drink alcohol, play mahjong, and engage in romantic relationships. My life exemplifies that the perfection of life's non-material structure is not directly tied to form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or dharma. I demonstrate the essence of the highest level of dharma. Life-Changuan represents humanity's ultimate course. Everything should adhere to this final course. 关于生产力的思考. Reflections on productivity. Jiefeng. February 11, 2008. The authoritative modern Chinese dictionary defines productivity as the ability of people with labor capacity, combined with means of production, tools and objects of labor, to conquer and transform nature. Humans are the decisive factor in productivity. Productivity is the most dynamic and revolutionary element in production. The level of productivity development marks the extent of humanity's conquest of nature. This definition feels unscientific, awkward, and incomplete. It's unsettling, particularly the notion of conquering nature. Why must we conquer nature? Isn't living in harmony with nature a better approach? The atmosphere, earth, mountains, rivers, plants, animals, birds, insects, and all other elements are integral parts of nature. Why should we aim to conquer them? Humanity itself is part of nature. Claiming to conquer nature implies humans conquering themselves. Wouldn't peaceful coexistence and mutual benefit be more sensible? Why must we transform nature? Nature is inherently beautiful and perfect. If we alter it, what would the results be? Would it lead to rising temperatures, melting glaciers, diminishing species, desertification, soil acidification, fishless rivers, polluted skies, soil erosion, floods, and ecological imbalance? Could such transformation eventually lead to nature's collapse? Therefore, the definition of productivity needs to be re-examined. Life-Changuan defines productivity as any factor